Picture the loudest voice you know, the one that always hijacks the room, demands the spotlight, and strings people along like puppets. Now picture the quiet soul in the corner, the one who has absorbed every tremor of tension, every micro-betrayal, and every unspoken plea for mercy. Imagine that gentle soul finally deciding, enough. History isn't made by the brash. It's rewritten by the silent observer who reaches a breaking point. Tonight we're taking a hard look at what happens when a chronically underestimated empath snaps, and why the narcissist who triggered that metamorphosis will never see it coming. Empaths aren't merely nice people. They're living supercomputers of human emotion. While everyone else is chatting, they're recording patterns, the subtle eye roll during small talk, the dip in tone that signals a half-truth, the forced laugh meant to patch over discomfort. These observations store like rows in a mental spreadsheet, seemingly trivial until the formula of betrayal sums them into one undeniable truth: this relationship is toxic. A narcissist thrives on the assumption that no one is paying attention. The empath, by design, always is. Pop psychology paints empaths as fragile glass, beautiful but breakable. In reality, they are more like tempered steel. The heat of constant emotional friction doesn't shatter them, it forges them. Every time a narcissist dismisses their feelings or rewrites history through gaslighting, the empath's tolerance stretches, then rebounds a little stronger. That elasticity is misread as weakness, yet it's the very capacity that allows them to survive storms others can't even see forming. No one erupts overnight. An empath's rebellion starts with whispers. Did that really just happen? Then comes the journal entries, the late-night research on personality disorders, the podcasts that confirm their suspicions. Those moments look like rumination, but they're reconnaissance. The empath is compiling evidence, not to prosecute in court, but to prosecute in the court of their own conscience. Once the verdict drops, this is abuse, something irreversible ignites. Psychologists call it compassion fatigue. I call it the spark. It's the instant a caring heart recognizes that its generosity has been weaponized against it. Think of a dam protecting a valley. Each manipulation is a crack. The water level rises. One day, the slightest tremor, maybe a thoughtless insult in front of friends, splits the concrete. The empath's reservoir of patience floods out as decisive action. The narcissist, busy admiring their reflection in the water, never predicts the wave. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow traits we disown to appear lovable. Empaths disown anger, boundaries, and righteous indignation. Betrayal drags those traits out of exile. Suddenly the empath can wield no like a sword, and silence like a shield. They're not switching personalities, they're unmuzzling parts of themselves that were waiting for permission to speak. Integration makes them whole, and whole people can't be carved up by manipulation. Detachment is not apathy, it's choosing where to place energy. When the empath decides the narcissist no longer qualifies for the premium package of their attention, a vacuum forms. The narcissist panics. Their favorite fuel, emotional reaction, vanishes. Phone calls go unanswered. Guilt trips fall into voicemail limbo. A silent phone can be louder than any scream, and the narcissist finally hears it. Notice the tempo change. The narcissist ramps up, love bombing, smear campaigns, weepy confessions. The empath responds with nothing. This strategic silence forces the narcissist to confront their own echo. With no audience to applaud the drama, the performance collapses. Control evaporates when the target stops dancing. Early boundaries were polite requests. Please don't speak to me like that. After enough boundary breaches, the empath replaces chalk lines with concrete walls, non-negotiable, self-reinforcing, and alarmed for trespassers. They block numbers, curate social media, and, most importantly, fortify their internal narrative. I am not responsible for another adult's feelings. That clarity is kryptonite to a narcissist, whose entire playbook relies on blurred lines. Healthy isolation is phase 1. Phase 2 is connection, authentic allies who validate reality. Support groups, therapy circles, or simply that one brutally honest friend become mirrors reflecting the empath's true worth. Surrounded by clarity, the empath's old self-doubt shrivels. Meanwhile, the narcissist's gossip campaign backfires, because the circle hears both sides and can spot the inconsistencies instantly. Alchemy isn't just legend, it's the empath's daily practice. They transform gaslit confusion into psychological insight, convert heartbreak into creative output, and repurpose sadness into solidarity with others. Pain becomes curriculum. Graduation day is the moment they realize their story can save someone else from similar abuse. Purpose is born, and nothing terrifies a narcissist more than a victim who becomes a teacher. By now the empath can read emotional currents like a maestro reads sheet music. They sense a narcissist's manipulation attempts before the first note. Instead of reacting, they redirect, changing the subject, excusing themselves, or presenting a calm fact that pops the balloon of drama. Tactical empathy is empathy with strategy, compassion that refuses to be consumed. Narcissists avoid accountability like vampires avoid sunlight. A fed-up empath is the mirror. Not by accusation, but by calmly naming reality. I hear you say you care, yet your actions show otherwise. Simple statements force the narcissist to confront dissonance. Mirrors don't fight, they reveal. What's revealed can't be unseen. Think of empathy as currency. The empath once handed out unlimited credit. Now they run a balanced budget. Each interaction is an investment analysis. Does this person compound my peace or drain my reserves? High-risk emotional borrowers, the narcissists, get denied. Sustainable relationships get greenlit. Scarcity creates value, and suddenly empathy is a premium asset. There will be late-night texts, "You're overreacting," or memory lane postcards. "Remember our first date?" The empath recognizes these as fishing lines. They leave them dangling in the water while they walk to a different shore. Re-engagement requires mutual growth. If the narcissist shows up with the same bait, the empath simply doesn't bite. Before, the empath's mood mirrored the room. Now their state is self-generated. Morning rituals, meditation, journaling, movement, establish internal weather. External storms can rage, but the empath carries their own climate system, sunshine optional. A self-led empath no longer asks, "Am I too much?" They ask, "Are you equipped to receive what I offer?" Friends notice the glow-up. Colleagues observe firmer handshakes. Strangers sense calm authority. The empath's transformation plants seeds. Colleagues rethink their tolerance for disrespect. Friends set firmer boundaries at home. Empowerment becomes contagious, and the narcissist realizes they didn't just lose supply, they ignited a movement. Books on trauma, podcasts on attachment theory, therapy worksheets. Each piece of knowledge is another brick in the firewall. The narcissist's old malware, guilt, shame, love bombing, can't breach updated defenses. Auto-response, boundary violation detected, connection terminated. Enlightenment is the best antivirus. Yes, the empath still feels compassion, just not codependency. They can wish the narcissist healing without offering themselves as the medicine. That nuanced caring says, "I hope you find help, but I am not your rehabilitation center." It's compassion with teeth, smiling while it guards the gate. Some battles end not with a bang but with the absence of reply. Silence is space where the narcissist hears their own echo and mistakes it for abandonment. They may spiral, raging, pleading, promising change. Silence remains. Because silence is truth's microphone, it amplifies reality without uttering a word. Human memory is pliable. Under a narcissist's influence, the empath's past looked like a montage of personal failures. Post-awakening, they re-edit the footage, recognizing moments of resilience, instances of courage, flashes of intuition that kept them sane. The new narrative centers agency, not victimhood. Story rewritten, identity restored. The empath's laughter returns, lighter yet deeper. They volunteer again, create art, build businesses. Outsiders think they're back to normal. They're wrong. The empath isn't who they were. There's iron beneath the velvet. Softness by choice, not default. A velvet sheath blade. Control was always an illusion sustained by the empath's participation. Without that participation, the narcissist sees the strings dangling from empty air. Worst of all, they realize the empath didn't just leave, they outgrew them. Growth is the ultimate revenge, because it can't be taken away, denied, or demeaned. Empaths rarely gatekeep wisdom. They share. Workshops, blog posts, quiet coffee shop conversations. They become lighthouses for others lost in fog. Each story told is a flare that says, "There's land this way." The narcissist's range shrinks as former targets find each other and trade maps. Sovereignty isn't a one-time declaration, it's daily governance of one's internal kingdom. The empath maintains it through rituals of self-care and continuing education. Boundaries get routine maintenance. Red flags are logged immediately. Joy is pursued proactively. Sovereignty becomes culture, not event. Dangerous isn't about fists or fury. It's about indestructible self-worth. An empowered empath is dangerous because they can no longer be bribed by flattery or blackmailed by shame. Their emotional independence renders every manipulative tactic obsolete. A narcissist's toolbox is full of antique keys. None fit the new locks. If you're watching and whispering, "That's me," understand this. Your quiet observations are not a liability, they're sonar. Use them. Map the underwater terrain of people's motives. When you decide your energy is sacred, you'll move with a certainty that scares bullies into retreat. And if you're a narcissist who stumbled onto this video looking for tactics, surprise. The game ends when the pawn realizes it was always the queen. If this message lit a fire in you, join our community by hitting subscribe, tapping the bell so you never miss a strategy session, and sharing this video with anyone who needs a reminder that empathy, when fully awakened, isn't weakness, it's unstoppable power. Until next time, guard your light, wield your boundaries, and remember, sometimes the softest voice carries the sharpest sword.